Look.
Yes, I don't know what that is.
I
hope it's okay.
It's fungus, I think.
Well, then you get your microscope out. So what we're going to do, we're going to pick on the way down, and there's sort of some nice flat areas we can show and tell. If there's something in a tree or not too movable, I'll explain it. You all have a handout.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm occasionally taking a picture.
When I saw this picture, I was surprised because this is pretty late for oyster mushrooms. It's usually one of the very first things to come up. They're all over the market. Ranch 99 has the best price on them. They're wonderful. This is one worth trying. Those guys look a little shot. You want really nice, firm, white, non-waterlogged. They like to grow on alders and willows, things along creeks. The best place I know of in Northern California, and it's legal, is along the creek in Samuel Taylor Park in Marin County. This leathery, papery looking thing with the orange and brown colors, if you look underneath it, it doesn't have gills, but it has thousands and thousands of little pore openings. It's called a polypore, many pores. There are hundreds of these. There are hundreds of these in California.
Oops, sorry.
Oh, and they're quite expensive when you see them down here. If you're up on the Klamath River, you get tired of looking at them. Because that 100 inches of rain and fog and dank and nice humid, lots of mushrooms are consumed by other fungi. We need their help.
What is that?
Okay. When he saw this, he saw a ring and a cap and a stature. It does have the stature of an amanita, but it's not an amanita. If you're trying to save your life, eliminating all...
Death cap.
I got dogs and children. How can you win? Rule number one is he says don't eat anything with white gills. Well, that takes care of the whole thing. Except you've eliminated some edible mushrooms. This one has pink gills right now. If you're a young person, it smells like Band-Aids. If you started out in school with real ink and a pen like Abraham Lincoln used, like real ink, but it's phenol that's giving it that smell, slight phenolic smell. Did you get it? Most mushrooms that hurt you are relatively fast, half hour to 2 hours. You may think you're going to die, but you're not.
But that would be my guess.
Not edible. Well, we're going to talk about it.
It looks like that other one.
Yes, it does, but what color are the gills?
Oh, white.
Oh, it's got its little ring is no longer with us.
But look at its cap.
Okay, let's talk about the mushroom. First of all, it only grows with live oak. Okay?
That's right above our heads.
And yes, and most people think it came to Northern California either on the Stanford campus, which makes me happy because I'm a Cal guy, or down along the Filoli estate, where they've planted perfect rows of cork oak from Portugal. 35 years ago, to find this mushroom, this mushroom would have been a star at the fungus fair. We would have put it under a bell jar. Today, there's enough in this park, probably every year, to take out all of Alvarado Road because they love it. That's Ginestra. It's very poetic.
Get with the project.
It's wonderful in the Mediterranean, but here it's not good. Are we going back tonight?
I have a bunch of handicap dogs, so I gotta cook something with them today. I've had them for like 4 days. I haven't done anything. They're fine. They're in the fridge.
The same street, different.
We were talking about eucalyptus and mushrooms under them. Eucalyptus and bay trees have a similar thing going. There's a chemical. Here's a big word. It's called allelopathy, chemical warfare. The oils that drip off this leaf that get into the substrate deter a lot of plants and mushrooms from growing under it. It's a very potent chemical. Sometimes if you crush one of those, it gives you an instant terrible headache. Best of show.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Hey, Pat.
Thank you. Well,
It's white.
it's an amanita.
Yeah, just a big one and
It's a
little bit
phalloides.
lazy.
Yeah, I was thinking
It's just it's had a a long and healthy life in the woods. White gills. There's a little remnants of the veil here. There's the sac at the bottom. The color is not the same because it had some temperature and moisture conditions. This is Amanita phalloides. It's just a bigger one.
So I'm not seeing the remnants of the veil on that one.
Right where her,
That are here.
yes. But they're evanescent. It's not a big sturdy ring.
Okay.
That little one, if it's still alive, it hasn't even broken away from the gills.
Yeah, that one was amazing.
So if it's on an oak tree, go for it. It's a wonderful mushroom. On eucalyptus, try it. You won't go to the hospital. No, just say, well, he said it could do it. There's nothing in there that can kill you.
Isn't the main thing that you cook it well?
It has nothing to do, I don't know if it has to do with the cooking of it or not.
You have to cook it for 15 minutes.
15, well, I cooked that mushroom for 15 minutes. I have one that's been fruiting for, let's see, 24 years. On a eucalyptus stump I can see from my computer room, and I've never picked it because I get the calls. Maybe I've just wimped out. But I do eat that mushroom. I like that.
Chicken
mushroom.
over
I like that.
Is that the same as hamburger?
No. These names, forget these names. I was hunting mushrooms in the Veneto and in July, and I found chanterelles. And my colleague didn't speak English. I said, "Accidente, sono gallinaci qui." They looked at me. Gallinaci. Said, "No, fin felice," because they had a different name. Gallinacio means little hen, which is the same name for the chanterelle in Polish. Kurka.
So I think maybe this is where we say goodbye to one another.
All right.
So thank you, Bob.
How do I get out of here?
We'll take you out. Thank you for another wonderful walk. Wonderful walk.
Don't forget, microweb.com is your site. If you have questions or comments about my evil personality or questions, it's on that piece of paper. Read that piece of paper if you weren't here before. So I had some old timers here. They're going to stick around and take a test.
Oh, you're going down that way. Okay, see you. Bye.